Today, we're talking about how to stop attracting bad patients with your marketing. Hi, and welcome. I'm Ian Cantle from Dental Marketing Heroes, and I want to welcome you to today's webinar on how to stop attracting bad patients with your marketing. Over the next 30 to 40 minutes, we will explore how the way you market your dental practice can signal the type of patient that you attract. We'll cover why it's important to attract the right patients. We'll identify some common pitfalls in marketing that you may be falling into right now, and we'll discuss actionable strategies to improve your marketing efforts. Our goals for today are to create a plan for minimizing what we do as dental practices to avoid attracting bad patients and instead attract good patients. So let's get started. All right, here's what we're going to be covering today. First, we're going to talk about understanding the problem. We need to define what a bad patient for your practice is. We're going to talk about different types of bad patients and their characteristics. We're going to talk about types of bad patients that don't fit with your strategic focus of your practice. We're going to talk about identifying your ideal patient, because it's not just okay or enough to talk about bad patients. We want to talk about the good ones that you want to attract and what the best defense is against attracting bad patients. We're going to talk about crafting your core message to attract ideal patient and repulse bad patients. We're going to talk about current marketing analysis, how to determine if your current marketing is attracting bad patients, and if so, what to do about it. We'll talk about effective marketing strategies to attract your ideal patients. We're going to broach the screening process, how to catch bad patients before they become your patients. We'll talk about enhancing patient experience, how to boost retention of your ideal patients. And then we're going to talk about measuring success and adjusting your strategies. And we'll conclude with some next steps. Now, this is some marketing 2.0 stuff here, people. This is next level, meaning that for practices that have been around for a while and have tried marketing, but have found themselves attracting poor quality patients, this is a no-brainer. But even if you're a new practice, you should be considering this and building your marketing plan and strategies and core message so that you avoid attracting poor quality patients. To begin, let's define what we mean by bad patients. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means that these are patients who may frequently miss appointments, demand unreasonable discounts, leave negative reviews. Such patients can cause stress for your team and disrupt the flow of your practice. Understanding the problem is the first step in addressing it. Attracting the wrong kind of patients or less than ideal types of patients often stems from how you market your practice. So what makes and I'm putting quote marks around this, bad patient? The reasons can be as unique as your practice, but there are some common traits. So let's dig into some of these common types of bad patients, their characteristics, what makes them bad, how you might be attracting them right now, and how you can repel them from your practice. We're going to go deep here, and I can provide this as a resource after this webinar if you'd like it. But here's some characteristics of bad patients. The chronic no-show. They frequently miss appointments or cancel at the last minute. This disrupts your schedule. It leads to lost revenue because you can't fill those spots quickly enough. The cost of attracting these patients is high. It means missed appointments and wasted staff time. How are patients attracting these types of people? Sometimes they're overly flexible. Sometimes they don't have strict enough cancellation policies. And sometimes they lack appointment reminders. How can you repel these types of patients? You can implement strict cancellation policies. You can send multiple reminders, and you can charge no-show fees. This is becoming more common, but you need to make sure that this is clearly defined on your website when somebody books with you. The next one is the bargain hunter. This one is super common from a marketing perspective because they're always looking for discounts or the cheapest option. And in a lot of communities where there's many dentists who are trying to get a competitive advantage, A lot of discounts are out there. And so these types of people can hop from dentist to dentist looking for the latest deal. Why are these bad for the practice? Because they undervalue your service. And there's pressures for discounts. They're always pressuring you for discounts. The cost of attracting these patients is a medium level. It means reduced revenue from those discounted services. And it also means lack of satisfaction because when they can't get the deal they want, they're going to be grumpy. This puts pressure on you and your team to constantly battle discounting. How are they attracted? As I said, heavy promotions, discount offers, low cost ads, very common. How do you repel them? You focus on quality and value in your marketing. You highlight your core difference. You highlight your expertise in your patient care. And quite frankly, you don't advertise discounts. That is the easiest way not to attract the bargain hunter. The next one is the complainer. We all dislike the complainer. These people frequently complain about your services, your staff, your costs, your billing, your chairs, your parking, your hours, you name it, they are the complainers. Why are they bad for your practice? They lower staff morale. They can damage your reputation with negative reviews. And quite frankly, they make it a very challenging place for your staff, but also for other patients when they hear the complaining. The cost of attracting these patients is actually very high. The potential for negative online reviews is huge. And as you've seen in past webinars that I've done on reviews and reputation management, online reviews have significant power today. So how are they attracted to your practice? Poor customer service management, lack of follow-up, sometimes poor screening, right? Why are you coming to our practice? What was your most recent experience with your most recent dentist? If they talk about complaining, you got to navigate this really smartly. How do you repel these? Address complaints promptly. Don't let them sit. Encourage positive reviews, and train your staff in customer service. I think this is one of the highest things that you can do in order to augment patient experience is train your staff really well in how to handle customers. This is common in retail. It's less common in dentistry. The next one is the non-compliant. We've all had them. They don't follow your treatment plans or care instructions, which results in poor treatment outcomes, increased follow-up visits. The cost of attracting these patients is really high. It means increased time and resources for follow-up. And quite frankly, they're not going to be happy. How they are attracted to your practice is general marketing without clear treatment expectations. How do you repel them? You clearly communicate your treatment plans and expectations. You provide thorough education. One of the things I've seen that really good dentists do is they do post-treatment communication. Some even have non-ring calls that go out, and it's from the dentist that says, "Hey, it's dentist Bob calling you. I just wanted to make sure that you're feeling okay. Call our office if you have any trouble." And this actually goes directly into their voicemail. There's lots of other strategies, post-treatment videos and whatnot. The late payer. Now, we're providing healthcare, but we're in it for profit, right? We're not a charity. At least most of us aren't. So the late payer can have significant challenges pose significant challenges for our practices. They consistently delay or avoid payments. This causes cash flow issues. And it causes increased administrative burden to your team. The cost of attracting these is quite high because cash flow disruptions and potential for collections can always raise challenges for your team, but it will also create miscommunications and, quite frankly, anger with these late payers. They don't want to be late payers for the most part, but they are. How are you potentially attracting these types of people? You're offering services without upfront payments. You're lenient on payment policies. Maybe you're not clear on payment policies. How you repel these is you implement clear payment policies. You communicate these really well upfront when somebody first comes to your practice, and you reinforce these at each visit. You require upfront payments for a new patient. You use automated billing reminders. You can also use payment plans if you have a payment vendor in-house or in place as well. That's an option where they can spread their payments out. The emergency only visitor. These guys only visit for emergency situation and they neglect regular checkups. This is pretty common, especially people that are scared of going to the dentist, or maybe they are low income sometimes. Maybe they don't have insurance, whatever it is. There's many people that avoid going to the dentist for various reasons, but then they are emergency driven. What happens is this disrupts your schedule. It leads to unpredictable workflow. This is a medium level cost to your practice because these are pretty common. I think we're all used to dealing with them. But it puts a strain at the medium level, but it puts a strain on emergency resources and inconsistent revenue. And quite frankly, we all know that you're not providing the best care for these patients because they're not letting you. How you may have attracted them is emphasizing emergency services in your marketing. I especially see this when practices actually don't have true emergency services, meaning they're not really on call, and yet they advertise for them because they want to attract these high value patients because they are high value when the emergency comes. How do you repel them? You educate patients on the importance of regular visits, how when they take care of their teeth and when they come regularly for cleanings, it's going to actually reduce the emergencies and ultimately reduce the cost to them. This limit emergency only promotions as well. And the last two, the disrespectful. These are really hard. They're rude, they're disrespectful towards your staff and other patients. They might be muttering under their breath in your waiting room. Why are these bad? They lower staff morale. They create a hostile environment for your staff, but also for other patients. What's the cost of attracting these patients? This is really high because it will cause staff turnover. If you guys aren't sticking up for your team, and if you're somehow attracting too many disrespectful patients, your team's going to get crushed under that burden. People are emotional. If you're not caring for them emotionally, there's a problem. And it's going to create a negative atmosphere. How are these patients attracted? Usually poorly enforced office policies, lack of clear behavioral expectations. You need to stand up to disrespectful people, but you need to do this well and caring. How do you repel these patients? You establish and enforce office policies. You address disrespectful behavior immediately, and you care for your team while caring for the patients. And finally, the over-demanding. These people expect immediate attention and excessive personal care, usually from the dentists themselves, not from the team. It puts a strain on resources. It can lead to burnout among your staff and amongst you as the dentist. The cost of attracting these patients is high. Excessive time and resources are spent on one patient. How you attract them is overpromising personalized service and lack of boundaries. How do you repel them? Set clear expectations, maintain professional boundaries, and manage patient expectations. Sorry, and I was wrong. We have two more. The frequent rescheduler, who constantly reschedules appointments, often at the last minute. This disrupts the schedule. It wastes administrative time. Flexible rescheduling policies can often be the culprit for this, and a lack of clear rescheduling policies. How do you repel them? Implement rescheduling fees, set limits on rescheduling, and force appointment adherence policies. And then we talked about people that were looking for deals. This is the one-time deal seeker, and these are actually worse than just the discount. They visit only once for promotional deals and they don't return. Low patient retention is the ineffective promotions. The cost is medium, but it's a high cost for low patient retention because every time you have to capture a new patient, it has a higher cost than retaining an existing patient. It has a heavy reliance on promotional deals and one-time offers that attracts people this way. And the way to repel these is to focus on building long-term relationships, reduce reliance on one-time promotions. So those are some of the common characteristics of poor quality patients that you don't want to attract to your dental practice. And there's no silver bullet. It takes effort. It takes clear marketing and core message. It takes good customer service. So now let's look at a different type of patient you may not want to attract. Patients who don't fit your strategic focus. This can be for a number of reasons, but the top ones are these: geographic area. So people not in your immediate geographic area. I see this a lot. A lot of dentists waste enormous amounts of money on advertising while attracting people outside of their geographic area. Patients rarely are going to drive a long time or a long way to a dentist if they can find one that's more convenient to their home or their work or their kids' school. Number two, demographics. If you're a pediatric dental clinic, you probably don't want to attract seniors. And if you're a denturist, you probably don't want to attract parents of young children. If you don't, another example is if you don't accept certain insurances or public funding, then you probably don't want to attract lower income patients. But if you've built your practice on serving lower income patients and love helping them, you may want to attract them. So there's no one size fits all. It takes effort and strategy to figure this out. Services. If you don't do certain services, you don't want to attract patients for those services. I know it sounds so obvious, but we actually see it a lot in the marketing world, especially on websites, social media, things like orthodontics. People are trying to rank their dental clinic and they have keywords related to orthodontics or implants or laser dentistry or sedation or dentures or emergency services, just to name a few. If you don't do these things, you have to make 100% sure that you're not marketing these services. But it happens, especially when you improperly outsource your marketing to multiple. Now let's talk about identifying your ideal patients. It's not enough to identify who you don't want to attract. You have to identify who you want to attract. And ideal patients are those who value your services. They follow through with treatments, and they are likely to refer other people they know or work with to your practice. To attract these patients, you need to understand their characteristics, such as demographics, their needs, their preferences. Knowing your target audience is crucial for crafting messages that resonate with them. Some characteristics of ideal patients are things like punctual, compliant, appreciative, importance of demographics, maybe their age, their income, their location, maybe their psychographics, their values, their lifestyle, their behaviors, things they're interested in. Creating patient personas for better targeting is really important. So who do you want to attract more of? Are they going to be profitable to your practice? Are they going to be enjoyable to work with? And is your team going to find satisfaction in serving them? One of the most important ways that you can attract ideal patients is by crafting a message that attracts your ideal patients. And this involves more than just words. It's about conveying value and the quality of your service. Use language that speaks directly to your target audience and highlights what makes your practice unique. Avoid generic phrases and focus on specifics that set you apart. Here are some examples of effective messaging that attracts ideal patients. The elements of a compelling message include clarity and relevance and authenticity. Examples of positive messaging, emphasizing quality or patient care. Avoid generic language and cliches. The importance of tone and style in your communication is vital. And here's the truth. Most dentists are missing this core message element. It's a key element to all of your marketing, in fact, to all of your branding. In fact, if you want to prove this point to yourself, simply pull up your website and the website of your top 5 competitors in your town or your area. What you'll find is that all of the sites probably lack a core message at the top of the page that differentiates the dental practice from the others. They are usually very generic. So when you leave a vacuum like this for consumers, they will fill it with whatever they have at their disposal. Maybe it's aesthetics of your website. Maybe it's price when they call you. Maybe it's your ethnicity. Who knows? But you don't want to leave it to chance. You want to develop a core message that's punchy, that hits them where it means the most to them and attracts them to your practice. So, is your marketing attracting bad patients? Are you accidentally attracting poor quality patients? Let's analyze your current marketing strategy. Take a close look at your marketing materials and your online presence. Are there elements that might be attracting the wrong type of patient? You need to look, you need to explore, you need to task somebody in your practice to do this or hire a professional. Common mistakes include using overly broad messages or offering promotions that attract deal seekers rather than loyal patients. It's essential to align your marketing efforts with the characteristics of your ideal patients, like we talked about earlier. Without doing this type of analysis, you may be inadvertently attracting the wrong type of patient and not attracting your ideal patients. You need to review your existing marketing materials, your website, your ad, your social media, your landing pages, the brochures you have, even the messaging within your practice. Identify messages that attract bad patients and aren't unique. Common marketing mistakes like overpromising, targeting wrong demographics, avoid those, but look for those. The importance of consistent messaging is key. You want to create a brand identity, a consistent brand message, so that when somebody sees your dental practice, they know exactly what you stand for and whether they're a good fit for it or not. Look at one of the other activities you can do, which I strongly recommend, is look at the breakdown of your new patients you've attracted over the last 3 months to a year. What services or treatments did they get? Where did they come from? What was your team's satisfaction in working with them? That might be hard to measure if you don't measure that. What was the profitability and revenue generation of those new patients? Did you get any referrals from them? Did they leave you online reviews on Google? Were their reviews positive or negative or neutral? Where did your new patients come from? Were you able to attribute them to activities you do? Patient referrals, organic SEO traffic, social media, paid traffic, Google ads, content you've shared, professional referrals, networking you do. Where are the new patients coming from? Which activities are providing the best return on investment? And which ones are actually attracting poor quality patients? If you don't measure the quality of your patient, somehow in your CRM system, practice management software, you'll never be able to improve it. Effective marketing strategies to attract your ideal patients. Let's move on to digital marketing strategies. Effective SEO, search engine optimization, and local SEO ensures that your website ranks high for relevant searches and attracts the right patients, and that you show up high on Google Maps and other areas that patients are searching for you. On social media, you share content that showcases your expertise and engages your audience. Content marketing like blogs and videos help educate potential patients and build trust with them. Patients have to know you, know, trust, try, buy, repeat, and refer. That is the buyer's journey. That is the marketing hourglass that every single patient has to go through. Implementing these strategies can significantly improve the quality of patients you attract. Do you have a referral program with your ideal patients now to attract more ideal patients like them? Do you generate online reviews by asking satisfied patients to leave great online reviews? Are you using SEO best practices, keyword research, on-page optimization, local SEO? What are your social media strategies like? What platform selection are you on? Are you trying to be on all the platforms, or have you chosen the platforms that specifically target your ideal patients? What kind of content are you sharing consistently? How engaging is your content? Are your ideal patients engaging with your content now? What about content marketing tactics? Are you blogging? Are you creating videos? Are you creating educational materials? And are you employing the clear benefits of a cohesive digital marketing approach, a holistic marketing approach? As you can see on the screen, this is an actual example of a dentist of how they rank against their competition. Which would you rather be for the main keywords for your practice? Would you rather be the red one on your left, which means they're not ranking at all, or the one that is on the right that's ranking in the top 3 positions and the top 1 position for most of these? Do you have a screening process? Do you actively screen for the quality of patients? Implementing screening processes can help you filter out the non-ideal patients for your practice early on in the process, even before they come in for treatment. Use online forms and questionnaires to gather essential information about their first appointment. Train your staff to recognize the red flags and to ask the right questions in order to prioritize ideal patients and screen out the bad ones. These steps can save you time, money, resources, and ensure that your practice is focusing on patients who value your services the most. Types of screening tools are online forms, questionnaires, phone interviews. Key questions to include in the screening process: training your staff to identify red flags. It takes energy and effort, but it pays off in the end. Prioritizing patients who align with your practice values is vital. Do you have a process for screening out potentially harmful patients? Why are they looking for a new dentist? What happened with their last dentist? Do they have insurance? All of these questions are really key for you. And then once they come in, are you enhancing the patient experience? Are you keeping your good patients? Are you retaining them? What is your patient experience like? Creating a welcoming environment and personalizing patient experiences and interactions are key to keeping patients for the long term. From the moment patients walk in, ensuring they feel valued and cared for. Implement feedback systems to continuously improve the patient experience. Are you asking them after they've come in for a visit? How was it? What can we do better? Happy patients are more likely to stay loyal and refer others, contributing to the growth of your practice. Creating a welcoming office atmosphere, investing in the decor, the amenities, the staff behavior is vital. Personalizing patient interactions, like remembering their names, noting their preferences, this is important too. Implementing, and all of your practice management softwares can do this. Implementing feedback systems, surveys, suggestion boxes is key. Having a way that staff can make notes and put feedback into a common place so that it can be reviewed by practice management is key. Benefits of a positive patient experience is huge. It encourages loyalty, it encourages referrals, and it keeps patients satisfied. And it keeps them from looking for another dentist. So what's your patient experience like? Do you have referral programs? Do you have patient rewards programs? Are you doing patient appreciation events? And do you ask patients if you could do something better, what would it be? So you need to measure success and you need to adjust your strategies. Can you actually measure where new patients come from? Measuring the success of your marketing efforts is absolutely crucial. If you're investing in marketing, you need to measure it to understand what the return on investment is. You need to be able to track and measure and report on key metrics such as patient acquisition cost, where they're coming from, patient attribution, retention rates, and patient satisfaction. And you can use this data to adjust your strategies and improve your results. You can't improve what you don't measure. Peter Drucker said that. And regularly analyzing and tweaking not only your marketing plan and your marketing effort, but also these other metrics we talked about from a practice management standpoint ensures that you are consistently attracting the right patients and maximizing your marketing investment, getting a great return on marketing investment. So key metrics to track: new patient acquisition costs, new patient attribution, where they come from, retention rates, and satisfaction scores. Tools for measuring success are things like Google Analytics, CRM systems, practice management software. If you choose a good marketing partner, they will be able to track a myriad of things, especially with call tracking and form tracking. This is the gold standard for marketing attribution. You also need to analyze patient feedback to identify areas of improvement for your team, your staff, processes, and you need to adjust your marketing strategies based on the data that you glean. To wrap up, let's recap the key points we've covered today. We discussed the importance of attracting the right patients, how to identify your ideal patients, and how to identify the bad ones. We talked about effective marketing strategies to enhance your marketing efforts. Your next steps are to implement these strategies, measure your success, and continuously adjust your approach. Remember, we're here to support you every step of the way. And we looked at understanding the problem. We looked at identifying your ideal patients, the best defense against bad patients. We talked about crafting your ideal core message to attract ideal patients and repulse the bad patients. We talked about current marketing analysis. Is your marketing attracting bad patients? We talked about effective marketing strategies, the screening process, enhancing the patient experience, and measuring success and adjusting your strategies. Attracting ideal patients doesn't happen by chance, people. It takes commitment, it takes strategy, and it takes action. So what are the next steps for you to move forward? First, you need to define your marketing goals. Then you need to define your ideal patients. Define patients you want to avoid, the bad one. You need to develop your marketing plan to attract ideal patients. And you need to create your unique core message, consistently promoting your core message everywhere. And you need to track and measure everything. And then you need to recalibrate your plan regularly. This is a lot. It's a lot to understand, and it's even more to do yourself. And it takes a lot of training and experience to do it really well. For most dentists and orthodontists, you will never do this yourselves or have an in-house team do it. It's just too costly to have the expertise in-house. So you need to find an external partner to help you. And that's where Dental Marketing Heroes comes in. We're here to help. We've become well known for our expertise in the SEO world. We're a National Excellence Award-winning agency twice. For the past 4 years, we've been named a top SEO agency and a top web design agency. And as I said, we won the National Excellence Award twice. We're a strategy first certified duct tape marketing consultant. I also co-host a weekly small business podcast called Marketing Guides for Small Business. And I co-authored a book about local SEO called Content Marketing for Local Search, how to create content that Google loves and prospects devour. So all that to say, my team and I are here to help you with your efforts in marketing and attracting the right kind of patients. And we're very passionate about that. In fact, we find that when we implement our comprehensive marketing engine into practices, we consistently achieve a greater than, much greater oftentimes, than 5 times return on investment. As mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, I also like to provide free resources. So if you scan the QR codes, you can get a free SEO playbook. You can also get a free SEO scan. And of course, I would highly recommend scheduling a discovery call with me where we can determine if we're the right fit for each other and whether we can help you with your marketing goals. Our next webinar in this series is a doozy. And quite frankly, it's a topic that every single dentist should be asking themselves. Does my dental marketing suck? And what can I do about it? This webinar will delve into the critical aspects of dental marketing. It will help you understand the impact of current strategies that you're employing on your growth and profitability. Whether you're struggling with patient acquisition, retention, or overall marketing effectiveness. This session will provide you with the tools and insight you need to conduct a thorough marketing audit and implement best practices to attract and retain your ideal patients. Things that you'll learn is how to know if your marketing sucks. That's one of the hardest things. How to identify marketing gaps, how to understand key metrics, how to conduct effective marketing audits, how to avoid common mistakes and implement best practices, how to utilize advanced tools and resources, how to learn from real-world case studies. So sign up now on our website and don't miss this great lunch and learn topic. So until next time, folks, keep calm and mark it on. Have a great day.